What's up guys, Dapper here, and today I want to talk about the new Starship EVO update that is inbound. So, Starship EVO is officially killing voxels, and I kind of want to talk about why this is a good thing. So, I wanted to put down a few examples of why it's going to make this game even better. What I've done now is I've placed down a block, and I stretched it out to be about 4 wide and four blocks tall. And basically what's happening here is although we've stretched it, now this is the best of my knowledge as well. I will also be linking the update in the description. So yeah, if I'm getting this slightly wrong, let me know in the comment section. So to the best of my knowledge here, when we stretch this block out, it becomes 16 voxels. And from what I understand, this game is already running on a hybrid engine right now, so I'm not really sure what's considered a voxel at this point and what isn't, but I'm just trying to make an example of what killing all voxels would mean. So here I have a small block that I have stretched to be the exact same size as the one I did in the large block here. As you can see, these two blocks are just a single block. These blocks will carry the exact same weight, which means one small block will equal one big block. Whereas with voxels involved, this block here will equal 16 voxels, whereas one stretched block, this one being here on the new system, will be one block, if that makes any sense at all. So this is fantastic. It's gonna make building big vehicles run a whole lot better. Something that has tons and tons of details on it, instead of being weighed by the voxels inside the blocks that have been stretched and all that. It's gonna weigh it per block. So if we take a ship, for example, we can go ahead and look at some of the blocks on it. So we have a stretched block here, and I'm not really sure how many voxels would be involved with this one, but you can see it's been stretched beyond a block, so it would probably have quite a few. But this whole thing right here would be considered one block instead of, you know, however many voxels it took to make this block. So it's awesome. It's awesome. Stretch tech, super cool. I'm excited for more blocks to be stretchy. I hope that eventually comes. They don't exactly talk about that in the update, but blocks like this, I really hope that we can stretch it sideways, you know, things of that nature. More things that are coming in this update. Dynamic grid, which is pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and put like a little base down. So with a dynamic grid, we'll be able to actually select what size we actually want to work with here. So we'll be able to stretch or kind of choose which size blocks that we want to work with. So not only will they have the exact same weight as one another, but we'll be able to make small, medium, large, you know, whatever you choose within that dynamic grid. I know I stretched that one a little bit too far, but it'll help you make a more uniform scale. So let's say we chose this size here. From my understanding, we'll be able to place blocks on that dynamic grid without having to stretch and replicate the size like I'm doing here. You'll just be able to place a block, you know, right next to it like that, and it'll be the exact same size, which is kind of cool. I like that. You know, if we want to make a medium-sized build, you know, we can choose that dynamic or that size of the grid a lot faster than we could just stretching each block to mimic the next one. So super neat stuff. I am definitely excited for that. Custom colors. Now, I've been wanting this since I started playing this game. So apparently they're going to be bringing back custom colors. So I don't know if they're going to have like a little wheel that you can choose, but you'll be able to do any color you want from the sounds of it. And like we can get different shades of this color, even more in between the shades that they have now. Another thing that they're going to be bringing, voxel painting. So I already did this earlier. Again, this is just what I assume. I don't know if all these will exactly work how I'm describing them, but to the best of my knowledge, this is how they might work. So apparently, so voxel paints are now going to be gone. So instead of coloring like so, you see, if I wanted to paint this whole thing blue, I would actually have to go along and paint all of it. Apparently, they're taking this away, which is fine. And as one block, you should be able to paint it like you can with the smaller blocks, like so. So if we wanted to get finer details on this large piece that we created, we can still do that. We would just have to use the decals. So we could take some decals here, and let's say we wanted a line in the middle of this. We can kind of just stretch this decal out, and we can paint that separately. I'll paint it just like so. So we can still get all kinds of details, and you can really go crazy with the decals on this. I mean, if we look at this ship, there's decals everywhere. Like, you know, it makes it look like this ship has, you know, been through some use. We've got all these over here. Those are decals right there. I mean, you can really just go crazy with these. So yeah, still super exciting, especially if you're building a huge ship. It would really suck to go around and, you know, paint it by hand, basically, which many people have done. So yeah, this is also really good news. Material and armor type. Now this is exciting. The update will introduce more materials. Similar to this would be a material. I guess this would be kind of like maybe a beat up aluminum, possibly, but we should have more materials, kind of like this here. So when we place this, it kind of looks like wood. So the new update will bring more materials like this, to basically just make builds even crazier than they already are. So the update says you'll be able to replace the materials. You'll be able to replace materials like this with stuff like wet paint, or each material. Oh, another thing. Each material will have different various armor and weight properties. So between a block of aluminum and a block of wood, I assume the aluminum would be a little bit heavier. Maybe not. Aluminum's pretty light. Let's say we made like a steel block, and so the steel block versus the wood block, the steel block would be heavier, and I assume it would have a higher armor property. So this is awesome. I cannot wait for that. That's super cool. Better lighting. I've had a lot of problems with lighting in this, especially when showing off, you know, people's builds, and I've been able to overcome it as much as I can, I would say. I've been using tricks like disabling shadows so that we can see certain details, but this only takes away shadows caused by the creation itself, and not the shadows that are caused by not being in direct sunlight. So better lighting, definitely a plus in my book. Can't wait for that. So the update says the light tech has been reworked, and the new tech will be lighter in memory requirement and allow for dynamic light control and true specular lighting. I don't understand all that, but it sounds fantastic. Not only that, but it sounds like it's gonna free up some memory and make the game run better, which is always great. Massive reduction in code simplicity. So they say while it took more time to complete, these changes are massively reducing code complexity, which will allow for more features in the future. That's awesome. I don't know much about coding, but you know, any way to make it more efficient is definitely a plus in my book. New border look. So while they've added a bit of pop in the hull block, they were a bit unpopular for smaller blocks. Now they are removed, as it was a feature using the voxel layer. New border look. Now I'm assuming, is that, I think that is talking about when you put two smaller blocks together, you get that little line there. Can you guys see that? You can tell that these blocks are here. Let's see something a little crazier here, so maybe we can see the lines. Now, I have actually wanted this for a while now. I actually wanted the choice between seeing a border and not seeing a border. So currently, you don't have a choice. The border shows up, if that's what they're talking about. I really hope this is. Anyway, you can kind of see the lines. Maybe if we paint it, it might be a little easier to see. That slight, get my light on it. Slightly easier to see. You can kind of see the lines in between the blocks, and I wish there was a tool to like erase that, especially when I was making my hidden doors. Like if I wanted to make some hidden doors with larger blocks, it's actually interesting. If you place two large blocks next to each other, they almost come out seamless, even though you can kind of see the seam on this one. But it was a little less obvious than the small blocks. They would kind of just go together like they fit. Maybe that's actually what they changed, because this looks a little different than it used to. I never really noticed the borders on the larger blocks. But anyway, they were a little more prominent on the smaller blocks at one point, and I am on experimental mode, so I'm not sure what has already been implemented, but yeah. We should probably move on, because I don't know. Anyway, it says now they are removed as it was a feature using the voxel layer. Anyway, I wish there was a tool to make it seamless if you wanted it to be, or the borders would be there. And in my mind, it would kind of work like a paint tool. Like you would just cross over the border and it would just erase it somehow. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if that's what they're talking about, but we're gonna move on. Okay, so I actually popped over to non-experimental mode, and we can actually see the difference real quick here. So this is what I was talking about. This is why I was a little confused. But this is the old border style. So with the smaller blocks, you can definitely tell that they are split apart, and then with the larger blocks, they went together more seamless. So that's kind of the difference with the borders. Okay, so in the update it says the new armor and damage system, it all had to be reworked because it was based on the voxels. It is now saying there will be no difference between the armor provided by a small block versus a large block. They will all be hull blocks. They'll all be the same. And yeah, so we already covered voxel paints, so that's basically everything to my understanding. I might have gotten some of these things wrong, but hopefully it wasn't too bad. And hopefully my explanations made sense, if they were even right. I don't know. Anyway, needless to say, I am super excited about the update. Definitely big fan of the memory and the optimizations, and you know, the code being better. I mean, all that's a plus in my book. I really hope we get to a stage in this game where, you know, everything is just kind of running smoothly, and some of the bugs get worked out. But other than that, I definitely love this game. It has so much potential. I've been thinking about making a video on why this game has so much potential, and kind of putting a list together of everything that's just so awesome. My favorite part is just the fact that you can combine the large blocks, the small blocks, the stretchiness. I mean, things are almost, I mean, they really are basically limitless with this tech, and I couldn't be more excited for the way that this game is going, and I can't wait for it to develop more. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully I was able to explain this stuff okay. If you liked the video, be sure to smash that like button. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, don't forget to hit the subscribe. I'll also be putting the link for the update in the description if you guys want to check it out for yourself. And I hope you guys have a great day. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.